What is a good viber? It is another vibe with me, mukbang, while we eat our lunch, which I got at Hmart, and it is some fish cake rolls. Okay, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. Honestly, I've never tried fish cake before, and here's praying that I like it because this is what I have for lunch today, and so I'm gonna eat it anyways. Looks beautiful. I wish I had soy sauce, but I do not, and that's okay. Mmm. 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 This is good. This is good. Mmm. 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 Oh my god, this is good. This is good. I'm happy because I spent $6.50 on this, and I'm very happy that it's good. Yeah, the fish cake is like the perfect amount of like subtle, kind of sweet flavor. A little salty, and then I think there's like nice crunch from the radish, and the carrots are nice, and the cucumbers are really nice, and then I think there's a little piece of imitation crab meat, which just adds just that layer of depth in the flavor. I like it a lot. Oh my god. Mm. 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 I am quite satisfied with this. This is quite nice. I'm very filling. I don't know if I'm gonna get through all of these. It looks like I didn't make a dent, but so good. Okay, so I'm gonna close the door and be right back. All right, my friend. I wanted to just share some thoughts that have been on my mind for a little while. And honestly, I'm making this video because Esther needs to just sort out her thoughts, and what better way than to just speak out loud into her phone while she's eating her sushi roll. So good. Um. Mm. 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 It's good, my friend. It's good. What can I say? It's good. Yeah. So pretty much, I've been working this job part time, and working on my startup, and I've been feeling like a failure. I feel like I haven't really been moving the needle on the side of like developing the app. Why don't I just learn how to develop? Like, they've actually been teaching me, and um kind of know that I've had a bad past when it comes to coding and like developing. I've kind of traumatized myself by like troubleshooting and screaming and crying and all of this other stuff. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I've been struggling a lot with just developing the app. And then I've been thinking, do I even need the app? Because like, who wants another app on their phone? This is something that I went to school for, to understand how to design apps that are useful. And so I really want to just do that. And so I'm excited for the idea of like creating an app, but I also don't want to just take up somebody's phone storage for no reason if I don't actually have a good reason, and something that's practical. So also, as you know, like, I guess Congress is banning TikTok, and I just started sharing more consistently on TikTok for my Eco Chamber account, which is Eco Chamber. I think it's Eco Chamber XYZ or Eco Chamber DAO, um, on TikTok, and Eco Chamber XYZ on Instagram, though, if you're interested. Now, what is interesting is that I literally just started posting. I've been posting consistently at least 2 to 3 TikToks a week for the past couple months now. And it's been cool because I'm starting to see the community, I'm starting to connect with people, just sharing my journey. I love it. And now TikTok is going to go ahead and be banned in the United States because Congress didn't like the information that was being spread. And let me take a moment to just acknowledge that I think it's because Meta's been lobbying them a lot of money to get TikTok banned. Like, I mean, $2 million isn't that much money for the main side of things, but I guess it's enough for Congress to be like, TikTok's not giving us any money like that. And we don't really like China that much because they're sus. I feel so bad sometimes for like just the normal Chinese citizens because I don't know what's going on. Sounds chaotic, man. The government, I'm sure, is playing its role as it should because that's just the world we live in. And I was just getting so like overwhelmed with like the evilness of the world. Let's try one of these pickled radishes. Mm. Mm. Bro, why does it taste like a spicy mango? Oh my gosh. That's quite nice. Anyways, as I was saying, I was getting a little bit overwhelmed with the evils of the world, the idea of, you know, the whole pandemic, and the whole, like, shots, the facilitation, the way the news, the media, everything that was being controlled, GMOs, there's so many things. And I was feeling overwhelmed. I was telling my parents this. And, they're kind of happy that it's my generation and not theirs, to be honest, because they almost feel like they couldn't handle it with AI and everything. And, they said that the evil is here for the judgment of the world, something like that. It's a Bible verse. My parents are both very religious, and it was just really interesting. I don't know if that was supposed to make me feel like more comforted by everything. I was like, okay, cool. So it is what it is, I guess. The evil is a necessary part of the judgment of this, end times that we're going through. History repeats itself. I guess there's always been evil things. They mentioned the Holocaust and, even the, back in Egypt with the slavery and the Israelites or whatever, when Jesus was, born and how they killed all of the male babies that were under the age of 2. And I guess, yeah, there's a lot of evilness out there, and it sucks. But you know what? By God's grace, we're here, we're alive. You probably have some kind of, you have this device that you're watching this on. You probably have food. If not, then this fight is for you. There you go. This is so much food. This is so much food. Thank you, God, for the food. So as I was saying, I've been on TikTok quite a lot. A lot of controversy around like this whole idea of, the government wanting more control, the people getting real tired of it. There's so many people that are supporting Palestine on TikTok that are boycotting Kellogg's. So many things happening. And I guess maybe that's all, I don't know if that's an influence or that's something, but it's really interesting to see what's going on over there. And so, of course, I'm kind of like I'm an observer. I'm just there. I'm just creating my content, trying to find the community, trying to be consistent, show up, share what I can, and honestly not spend much time on there because it's called TikTok for a reason, the way it can suck your time. And yeah, just in general, social media, being able to know when to stop. All right, like there's only so much news I really need to see. I don't need to see very much. I know God will show me what I need to see in each moment. And anymore is just an excess and waste of energy. So I've been kind of going with that, rolling with that, and practicing like limiting the amount that I'm consuming. And I know when I try to limit something, usually the opposite happens. So instead, practicing doing something more productive with my time, like painting, journaling, planning, developing the application, doing the work that has to be put into, that for Eco Chamber. Now, I bring this all up to say that I really think that, yes, society is going to collapse. I want to buy some land, off the grid, where in an area that has the least amount of government restrictions possible, so I can develop kind of freely, hopefully as well, safely, God willing, and, create stable food systems for myself and the community to help people that maybe are homeless. And I'm not even going to talk about the homeless situation, which I don't know why it hits so near and dear to my heart, but it's just one of those things that I've always felt like I might be homeless one day. And if that happens, may God watch over me. But also, I just have so much sympathy for a lot of the people that I see. And I know a lot of them are good people that are just lost. They lost their home. And for whatever reason, they're trying to figure out life. And the fact that, like, more money is going into, first off, legalizing homelessness and being poured into the police so that they can police the homeless people. And that jails, there are like 2 million people that are in jail and prison that are pretty much being very low paid wage, workers for big brands to produce the things that as consumers we consume. A lot of the times unconsciously, we just think about the convenience. And it's kind of crazy. I really want to, wouldn't it be cool to just have a community where you feel safe and you have food security and the members there, I think honestly what's going to happen is that things are probably going to get worse, and then they're going to get a lot worse, and then they're going to get even worse, and then it's going to force a lot of people to come together because the times are calling for it. And that's the only time that as humans we can survive together. And so as these tribes are being created, I pray, good vibe, we can one day connect and, be that sanctuary that is so needed for humanity to heal through all of this. It's easy to feel the pain and suffering because so many things are unfair right now. And as a human, this is a part of our life, right? The suffering. But there's also a lot of joy. With every reaction, there's equal and opposite reaction. And so for all of this pain and suffering, there's also a lot of joy and happiness that can be found. And so I guess as a human, I'm just trying to learn the balance, not get too swayed into one or the other. And I feel like I'm a very emotional person. It's very easy for me to express how I'm feeling. And sometimes I know that divine masculine is needed in order to ground me so that I'm not. I also know that I have a very big energetic magnetic field that does influence a lot of my environment. And so when I get high in emotions, like when there were forest fires in Quebec and, the smoke was insane, I was crying, I was screaming, I felt the pain of the trees. And everybody was looking at me like I'm crazy. Because, yeah, it sucks, but, that's not gonna help the trees go back to the way they were, it's already too late. But anyways, I scream and I cry when I feel the, the pain of Earth because it sucks, but that doesn't help it really. It does help me process those emotions, but it does impact everybody around me in a certain type of way. And so I've been working on taking responsibilities so I'm not as reactive. And I am more, you know, regulatory. That's what I would say. I'm actually choosing the way that I regulate my emotions instead of just having them go crazy, understanding this. Now, there's this time that I was at my friend's 21st birthday party. It was a crazy time, let me tell you. We had to hose him down. It was one of those times, okay, my friend. And I remember this weird moment. We were in the kitchen, and there was like a ceiling fan. And, there was like these two strings, one for the light, one for the fan, in the middle of the dining room table. And it was like still, it wasn't really moving that much. And then I walked in and I focused on it. And then my friend and a couple other people were focusing on it. And it was so weird that the end of like this ball chain ceiling fan rope started moving. It was like a pendulum. First it was like going around, and then I got, in next to the table, and then it just leaned towards me. It was just like towards me, and it was such a weird experience. And I guess for me that was like really interesting energetically to just have that experience. It was so random. It was such a weird moment, but it really did make me think of like life is kind of the pendulum. All energy is circulating. It's always in motion. And certain energies are going to come towards you and you're going to experience them. And certain energies are going to reflect away from you. You're going to drive them away. And so that was really interesting. And for me, I just feel super blessed. To be who I am in this life, because you know what, God, thank you. And sometimes I feel scared because I feel like, am I doing enough? Is this like right? And those they come and they go, and I've been practicing addressing them, and there's no need to get frustrated and feeling that way, but just understanding, okay, like I understand where you're coming from. There's a reflection of myself out there that believes this, and I can observe this, and I can acknowledge both sides of the true and false, part of this, and I can acknowledge what is true. This was a thought, and so it goes. Thank God for my life every day, because it's a big blessing. I've been working here, and I feel like such a fool, honestly, because I do not know that much about plants. I don't know their Latin name, okay? I feel like I can identify a couple of trees, a couple grasses, a couple flowers, a couple families of species, but I don't know their Latin name. A lot of them, like, they're telling me this is what the seed looks like. I don't know what the flower's gonna look like, and so I definitely feel like such a baby. There's so much that I'm learning, and sometimes when people ask me, like, what is this? I'm like, that's something. And then I go ask my supervisors and mentors, like, what is this? Or I look online. Okay. These pickled radishes are so sweet. So sweet. Okay. So that's kind of how life is going lately. I've also been thinking a lot about how to make $5 million in a year. How to raise $5 million in a year. There's a couple things, there's lots of renters out there, investors, and that's probably the route I may go. asked my coworkers, and one of them said strip, and I was like sad because I don't think that's realistic. I don't think I'm gonna make. I don't think that I would make 5 million if I did that. And that leads me to some of the male audience that I have, which I love and appreciate because I share a lot about sexual demons and sexual energies, how to control and how to, take charge of your own sexual energy. Porn addiction was a really big part of my life for a while. And so I appreciate you for being here and for the honesty it takes to acknowledge that maybe there's a better way to live life instead of draining the energies on these, soul sucking websites. But yeah, I've been going through a lot of healing my inner feminine. I realized that I have kind of like a very big masculine side of myself, which is like driven to do things, to protect, to define. And maybe it's also because I'm a colored woman and there's another layer of that because we've always had to work, we've always had to serve, another layer that makes my feminine side, like, I feel offended if I can't speak up. Well, what if I want to rest my voice, okay, I'm not even gonna go too deep into this. I have realized, there's more balancing these sides, within myself. I think the reflections of myself that I've met on the masculine side are severely wounded, is the best way to put it. And on the feminine side, there definitely are wounds as well. I think it's a lot easier to identify the feminine wounds than the masculine wounds. And it's been a journey. I was such a crybaby as a kid that eventually I just told myself, like, suck it up, buttercup, don't cry anymore. That masculine side started taking over. And now I'm kind of, I get frustrated sometimes when I feel so highly emotional about the things that are happening in the world. And I have to honor that is a part of my feminine side. That is a part of my divine balance and reflection of who I am. And that's just like one of many things that I'm journeying into understanding so that I can come to a balance. But yeah, the masculine side definitely is in pain. And I think it's a pain that I've been ignoring for a long time because of the shame that's surrounding it. So yeah, I'm just learning about this, and maybe this is like a collective thing. Maybe it's just me. Just coming to peace with it, not taking offense to what anybody says. I think that's a big masculine / feminine kind of balance that I'm finding. And yeah, really defining my own identity for what it is, because you know what? My ancestors did not go through all of the pain and suffering for the generations for me to come out here and play small. They did not. Absolutely not. I'm here to do my soul's work. And that's what I'm going to do. And so I'm finding that balance between the masculine, which is like, do it. Do as much as you can until your arms fall off, until you fall asleep at your desk. And the feminine side that's like, maybe you should go play in a meadow for the day and take like the day off. And I'm finding the balance in between those two where I feel at peace and I'm making the right decision and I'm doing what's in my best interest and not overthinking it, which was again, the feminine questioning the masculine's choices of action and just respecting them and honoring them right now has been really, really helpful. Yeah, I'm really thankful for my life. I think my friend, hopefully good viber, we will have a piece of land. The idea is that it will probably be a DAO. If you don't know what a DAO is, it is a decentralized autonomous organization. And it runs via a token, which is a crypto coin. So the token is backed by money that the members put in, and they vote on how they use the money. In this case, the money will go towards buying land, so we'll vote on what piece of land we will acquire, probably based off of the proximity of the members within the organization. From there, we'll also fund for the resources in order to first create a garden. I'm assuming that each member can come, probably drive up there. We'll have a workday event and we'll actually work on cultivating the gardens. The gardens, just for food security, I think are most important. But if we have specialized people with skills like making wells, digging wells, solar, getting the resources that are needed in order to start a sustainable community up and running, until it's at a point where people can actually live there for, months on end, and then voting on what roles each person is willing to take and how long they want to stay there until maybe we can continue to expand or find and fund another plot of land as the organization continues to grow. That's the idea. That's where I'm at. You can buy a coin to kind of reserve your spot into this organization. Just let me know down below and I'll send you a link if you're interested. Yeah, it's I don't really know how everything will work. Yeah, I don't know how everything is gonna work. Like, we might have to make a religion to get through some different tax and government stuff. Like, I'm thinking maybe it will be a nonprofit, maybe it will be a for-profit. I do not know what the legal structure looks like at this point. I've been looking into it. Making a religion for this kind of organization seems a bit extreme, and I really don't I don't even go to church. I stopped going to church when I was 9. My family stopped going because they didn't believe what the pastors were saying, and they would rather interpret and read the Bible for themselves, because that way it's actually applicable to their lives in a way. And so, but anyways, that's the idea. I think the big thing, and I talked to my professor about this just in general, because I've been playing with the smaller scale idea of, just going to people's, backyards that they want to convert into a garden, to get used to knowing how to cultivate a garden, what steps are needed, what resources are needed, how long does it take, how many people, have to be involved. And of course, my professor, when I've been sharing it with her, she's been mentioning security is a really big thing, and I totally get that. Would I feel safe with all of you, fam? I want to say yes, but I feel like there's a small percentage within me that's still scared, and that's because I have some trauma. My divine feminine has not healed from my divine masculine, is getting a little bit triggered, and so I don't want to be I don't want to feel unsafe around any of the community members, nor do I want to be a risk, to anybody else if I'm getting triggered or something like that. So, with that being said, I guess the idea is the importance of community, having, just calls, to get to know each other, and multiple people, because there's safety in the community, to kind of vouch for one another, as well as, one person's acting a little off, they facilitate a bit of a conversation, but I don't know. I want to trust everybody and give them the best bet, because God made you for a reason, my friends. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to think too hard onto it. And God willing, protection will be what it will be. But yeah, thank you for listening to me while I eat my lunch, which I can't believe we're getting through these sushi rolls. This is so good. Oh, let me give you this one. It's good. So good. Almost done. So good. I know I'm gonna eat this, and then I'm gonna go out in the field and work. So it's good. Mm. 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 So, yes, my friend. I am learning. I am learning how to do the best that I can and how to figure it out. There's been a lot of blocks in my mind that are like, no, that won't work, or maybe I just have overlooked it because I think it's too simple or nobody will buy it or it's not actually helping. And like a lot of the times with the DAO, I mentioned cryptocurrency, and everyone's like, why does it got to be in cryptocurrency? And I guess I could outright say maybe it's easier to evade the government and taxes that way, but I don't think that's true. I think everything is monitored by them, and bartering is probably the best way to go, but whatever, I'm still learning, and I'm really, really, really new to everything. I'm new to this. I'm new to learning how to grow gardens. I'm new to cryptocurrency and Web3 technology. I'm new to actually developing an app. Sure, I had experience with like bringing communities together and facilitating events and making videos and a couple other things. There's a lot that I'm new to and I'm learning, and I really appreciate having this platform to just kind of share what's going on. So, yeah, I'm gonna eat this last one with you guys as a cheers. And I guess we'll end off with this question while I chew, which is, what kind of beliefs are you telling yourself? What kind of patterns do you see with those beliefs? How are they impacting your life? Okay, for me, the government being a really bad thing is a belief that I guess I hold on to very strongly because it's something I've heard and seen in the collective belief system. The idea that this evil is inherently bad and we're helpless against it, another belief system I see. This idea that you need money to do anything, big belief system that I've heard multiple times on my journey. And, I'm not here to prove or say they're wrong or right. I'm just observing some of the patterns and the belief systems that I've witnessed and paid attention to. There are a couple more like personal ones within the narrative that, you know, mostly like, you can't do this if you keep doing what you're going to do. It's not enough. Stuff like that. And I gotta acknowledge them. And if I want to, I can rewrite that. And I think that will be in another video. But for today, thank you so much for watching, because I appreciate you, my friend. Like, you have helped me a lot clear out in my head, and hopefully I've helped you. Maybe you ate lunch with me. If so, amazing. And I'll see you in the next video. Much love. God bless. Namaste.